Good evening and welcome to Community Conversations. I'm Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee, and every Wednesday evening we have a broadcast talking about issues that are happening in our state of Rhode Island right now. We got a little background noise here that's making some noise here. All right, I'm good now. So anyways, welcome everybody, Community Conversations. You can reach us in our office at 222-2371. Thank you, Dave. And you can email us at ltgov20@gmail.com if you have any questions that are related to the virus or any other issue. Please contact our office. And we, as far as the this program, share it with others, and you'll hear some good information to help people out in the state of Rhode Island. So again, welcome to Community Conversations. I'm Dan McKee. I make sure that everybody hears loud and clear that the best way to to impact our economy, open our schools, is to make sure that we're staying healthy. And to do that, we need to wear our masks. You see, I got my Rhode Island mask here, and let's wear the mask. There's nothing wrong with that, and it helps. It helps curb the virus, and we're going to need that. As you know, we have just had a slight spike, and which is causing us some problems because now we'll have to quarantine when we travel to New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts until we're able to control that. And the only way to control it is, wear the masks, wash your hands, keep the social distancing, stay out of crowds. And if you're a visiting student from our universities, let's make sure that you follow the lead. We've been able to stay pretty safe, very safe here in Rhode Island for the last several months. And there's no reason why we can't continue that. So if you're an out-of-state student and coming to our campuses, follow our rules. Make sure that you are wearing your mask, you're washing your hand, social distancing, and make sure that you're staying healthy, because we want to make sure that everybody in Rhode Island is healthy, and we need everybody's cooperation to do that. Tonight, we're going to talk about one of the tours that we've been on. We've been on small businesses tours since I took office in 2015, visiting all 39 cities and towns. I say that we have 39 cities and towns in the state of Rhode Island, and each community is important, and everybody that lives in those communities is important, and the communities that make up those communities are important. And tonight, we're going to talk about small businesses in East Greenwich. And we're very fortunate to have the executive director of the chamber, Steve Lombardi, is here, and we have one of the businesses that we just visited just a week ago or so to talk face to face with businesses about how the COVID-19 is impacting our economy, and they've done some very imaginative things that we want to let you know about. We want you to take advantage, and one of them is that they're closing down Main Street on Sundays so that the public can come frequent their businesses there. Have dinner at their restaurants, and it's been a huge success. Before I bring Steve on, I just want to every program I've been talking about an issue that I think is very important, and is education. And we're opening up our schools right now, and no matter how good we are at it, the virtual learning experience is a challenge, and it is. It's not 100% efficient in terms of being in the classroom, being with a teacher on a daily basis. So we're going to lose a lot of learning time from March 2020 to March 2021. There's going to be a significant amount of loss of learning time for all our students. And it doesn't matter whether you're coming from a low income, a high income, moderate income. It doesn't matter if you're coming from a minority household, a non-minority household. It doesn't matter. In terms of whether you're at a public school, a private school, a charter school, if you're going to school outside the state of Rhode Island and you're a resident in the K through 12, we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can. And one of the ideas that I'm really floating around, and certainly interested in any ideas that you might have out there, and come on out on a community conversation if you do, any idea you have that you would like to, air out publicly for the benefit of the people in Rhode Island, I would love to have you. Come on. But I opened up an education department out of my office when I was mayor of Cumberland. been operating for 13 years. Thousands of kids have frequented there from early pre-kindergarten all the way up through high school on reading and math and robotics and art and music and leadership strategies. The only way that we're going to supplement the hundreds of hours, I think I estimate it'd be close to 1,000 hours of learning time lost during that year time frame, if not longer. The only way we're going to do it is by supplementing the school day, because they're going to be challenged just to do what they're doing. And the only way that we're going to be able to supplement those hours is outside the school day, and our families deserve it and our students deserve it. So let's take a look at, if you have other thoughts about how we can actually help the students in their lost learning time right now, please share them. Text us, email us, share this program out. So Dave, let's bring on Steve, please. And Steve is the director of the East Greenwich Chamber of Commerce. Steve, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Lieutenant Governor. It's a pleasure to be here. And I just want to say, not only am I thankful for your support for the small business community, but also for education. I was past president of the URI Alumni Association at one time, and I am very, very concerned about it. And you're speaking of the lost time that the young children are going to have. So thanks for staying on top of that as well.
Yeah, and Steve, it's not only important for the children or the students, regardless of their age, if they're in a K through 12 program, and as you pointed out, even in college, that's a different territory and that's a different challenge. It's important to their families, but it's important to our economy, Steve. Right? We know that if we achieve at certain levels, if we hit Massachusetts levels in our public schools, our data through McKinsey reports that were updated for us in 2016, and I'm sure it's similar right now, about $2 billion of earning power that could be increased in our families that live in the state of Rhode Island. So we know that this is a critical issue, not only for the education, but also for our local economy.
Agreed.
Yeah. And you've been doing some yeoman work in East Greenwich in terms of working your way through the pandemic here and bringing us to the point where at least that we're giving all our businesses a fighting chance. But tell us some of the things that the Chamber has been doing down in East Greenwich, and we might be able to put up a couple of the pictures that we have that kind of coach you along here.
Just a bit, and then talk about most recently. It started out that when everything closed down back in March, the Chamber became, I think, a very, very valuable resource. And not only our chamber, but chambers throughout the state. We were a resource center for COVID-19 information. We helped dispense PPE. We got the word out on grants and PPP and Department of Labor and Training information, help with takeout, pickup and delivery, help with the gift card program. There's really so much we did. However, that wasn't enough. And when we got to the better weather, even before Take It Outside became something that Commerce Rhode Island championed, we talked with the town of East Greenwich and the town manager, Andy Nada. We talked about some ways that we could, in fact, take it outside. And I like to think we've been leaders. So starting on September 6th, we closed down Main Street from Duke Street to Bedford Street. And that enabled the restaurants to expand their capacity because it's been limited. And in fact, they were closed even before it was limited. Expanded onto the sidewalk, expanded onto the street. And with proper social distancing, we created almost a European street festival. Somebody asked me today, was it crowded? Did you get a good crowd? And I said, getting a good crowd wasn't the purpose of it. When we do a lot of events, it's the purpose. But in this particular case, it was just to fill the restaurants and let them have an opportunity to do some business and make up for some lost business. And B, give people, consumers, a chance to feel safe in an outdoor environment.
Yeah, and it's that's one of the reasons this will be heard from people around the state of Rhode Island, some people outside the state of Rhode Island, and we want to encourage people to support our small businesses. And you've created a kind of ambiance to a certain degree. It's an experience, right? To be able to come down a street like that and a great main street in East Greenwich, and you've created an experience for people to enjoy.
Well, we've been doing it for a long time with our Main Street strolls. We typically do 4 strolls every summer. Yankee Magazine named it the strolls as one of the top things to do in Rhode Island, and we were unable to do them this year, and so that took away a lot. But this was a chance to bring people back to East Greenwich, enjoy our businesses, and to socialize, but in a social distancing, safe way. So we were able to capitalize, I guess, on the base that we had in terms of those strolls, and then, in fact, take it outside.
Yeah, we got a couple of the pictures there. Here you are. I guess that's one of the. Is that the Sunday evening, Steve?
Right.
Picture from Sunday.
There is the closed down section of the street.
Yeah.
And it wasn't crowded, but we didn't want it to be crowded because of COVID-19. But we did want the restaurants to be filled up to their safe capacity and to do business and for everyone to feel safe and enjoy themselves.
And one of the things, Steve, that I think is really important, and you project that in a real significant way. I mean, we've been on these tours with you before over the years, and you've been, a big supporter of the small businesses as the executive director. Actually, you hosted one of our TV events at the restaurant on the water, right? Just a few years ago. So, but you have, I believe this is what I believe to be true. Doing things right now for people, and I'm talking about anyone. We're working on food issues, food drive issues. We're working in different communities right now, different church communities, and we're working a great deal on the small businesses. But they appreciate that effort, the effort to help them, right, or the effort to say that they're important. And what you've done is done that. But people appreciate a helping hand right now, and they're going to remember this. This is one of the reasons I want them to open up the pocketbooks on these federal dollars for the grants for our small businesses and get a lot more aggressive on it. They've made some progress this week. Commerce has, but our small businesses are going to appreciate this, and we have an ability right now. And I'd like to have you weigh in on how you're helping your local businesses. But we have this great opportunity to rebrand Rhode Island as a small business friendly state by doing the things you're talking about, by being aggressive on the local level, municipal wise and state level, and the federal level. So I don't know whether we do, but comment on that, because I think that your businesses that I visited, you could tell they were very appreciative of the work that you're doing, the work that Andy's doing. We had the town council president on the tour with us, and they were very pleased.
Well, I would say that the chamber endeavors to help with the quality of life in the community, and what we think a rising tide lifts all boats. And what we're doing for small business makes really for a better community. And we are going to continue to do this because we need small business to thrive in this state. It's absolutely imperative. It's a small business state, and the challenges are as great as they've ever been. I mean, before the pandemic, we had, the concerns with bigger businesses, web-based businesses, and so the small Main Street guys were getting hurt. So we've had to step up. It's been absolutely imperative, and I do know that our small businesses do appreciate the effort. And so does the community. As a matter of fact, when this first started back in March, we had citizens contacting the chamber. What can we do to help our small businesses? We need our small businesses. They need to thrive. And they stepped up with a bingo game to go visit the various businesses in town. And so that was very heartwarming.
Yeah, and we've been on this Take It Outside tour. The governor's talked about a Take It Outside tour. To take our business outside, and we're seeing that the goodwill that our small businesses develop in the state are felt throughout the whole community. There we are out at the restaurant, right? What's the name of the restaurant that we're at there, Steve?
And we're going to introduce the manager shortly, I'm sure.
Yes, we are. But I'll just finish the thought that, there's a lot of goodwill with our small businesses. We're asking people to go to rismallbusiness.org, register there in the coalition that we've started. This is not to replace or to offset any of the good work that Steve's doing. It's just to consolidate a large group of small businesses in the state so we can be an advocate for them. And, even some of the places that I went, one of them was an interesting, the people felt so strongly about trying to keep that business in business. They ran a GoFundMe site just for that business. This is a type of goodwill that all our businesses project. So, and the work that you're doing, Steve, is just phenomenal. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on here tonight, because, East Greenwich is one of our 39 cities and towns. It's an important place for our state in many ways. And you're certainly, providing the service that we need to kind of work our way through this health crisis so that we're not got our backs against the wall in the economy. So, yeah, bring on our guest, Steve. That'd be great.
A couple of things real quick. East Greenwich Chamber and the town of East Greenwich are aggressively are pursuing the grant money for Take It Outside. That's very important in terms of getting tents and heaters and decorations and chairs and tables, all the things that are necessary to take it outside and keep taking it outside during the colder months. We want to extend the season as long as we can, or maybe begin next spring earlier than usual. So we've aggressively gone after the grant. We've asked for $128,000, and we think that East Greenwich has been a leader in Take It Outside, and we feel we can do wonderful things for not just Main Street, but for businesses all around our community. So
extending that season is really important, Steve. And, we'd like to see that even a little more money than the $1 million. They're going to see that the demand is a great deal higher. And heck, we're in New England. We go to a New England Patriot game and not worry about the cold, right? I was at the snow game several years ago and sitting in snow enjoying a football game. So there's no reason that we can't support our local businesses during the colder weather and providing a more comfortable place through the things techniques that you just talked about. That's happening at my research down in Maryland and Virginia. They've been doing this for a while. We can accomplish that, but like you said, we got to get the resources to our businesses. Yeah,
it's very important that our small businesses, and not just restaurants, retailers, survive and come out on the other side. It's very, very important to our entire economy, for other businesses, for employees. It's critical. So that's why we're doing this, and we believe it will be very successful. And as we said, the goodwill in the community is such that I think people will come out in maybe a little colder weather than they typically would have, because they know how important it is. So I know that we have Rasa Schoenbag from Santosh, rather, from Rasa. And Santosh is a great supporter of the chamber, as his restaurant Rasa, and his owner Sanjeev. So Santosh, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being such a great host when we visited with the Lieutenant Governor a couple of years ago. And again, I want to say what a great supporter Rasa is for the East Greenwich community.
Yeah, and you could tell he was, certainly all in, Santosh. Thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about your restaurant and how the virus is impacting, but also how the community is rallying behind you, because I know that you shared that with me when we visited.
Yes. Hi. Good evening, Lieutenant Governor McKee. Good evening, Steve. Thank you, first of all, for making us a part of this conversation. It's wonderful. I can see the initiative is great. First, let me ask, I hope you are able to hear me okay?
Yes, very good.
Yes.
Thank you. So, first, a few thanks. Thank you for stopping by the other day, the last week. It was great. It made us feel that somebody, which the town itself, the city hall, the town, Chamber of Commerce, always checks on small businesses. They're always supportive. We have been, our company owns 3 other locations in the state of Rhode Island. We are one of them. We are the 4th location, for that matter. And we have been in this town of East Greenwich in the last 8 years. And every year we see the kind of support, the kind of initiative which the Chamber of Commerce does, especially in the summer with the strolls and several others to name for. And this year was unusual, as everybody knows. However, the virus was really, really threatful. But I have very little words to say. The town of East Greenwich, the community, the chambers, the town hall, every guest that we have, they were so helpful. They were so supportive. As I mentioned to you the other day, it will stay as a big experience of my life. I have been in the hospitality industry for about 20 years plus in several different geographies. But the kind of support that all our guests and the community and the people who live in East Greenwich have done, they have supported us all the way through. In the first 3 months, we were completely, when there was no dine-in, everybody supported us with takeouts. We did our best. We put our best foot forward by trying to make it as safe as possible for our guests, by taking it to the curb, by putting the food in their cars, training each our employees, and trying to keep our employees also safe in the entire process. So in terms of takeouts, people were doing takeouts, but what touched us as employees of this business, and also in the larger picture as a part of the hospitality business, every guest who called us for takeouts, they're giving us, or they were giving the people working the gratuities that usually you would get after getting service at a dine-in restaurant. So that was a simple example of how much the people care for people who are working for a restaurant. For the restaurant, the people love. So I can't, there's a lot if I go to talk about that, but it's really touching, and I can't be less grateful for every guest who has supported us in the last few months. Dining opened, we were at 50% capacity in phase 1, and then we went to 66%. First, the outdoor dining opened. So now, as of today, in the last few weeks, we have been doing takeouts, we have been doing dine-in inside, indoors, we have been doing dine-in on our curb. We have been having a steady response. People are supporting, they are been showing up. Some people, apart from they wanted to come out of their houses, they wanted to have a good time. At the same time, some people, or most we can say, just wanted to support the business. Every time when they come, one word they have to mention is, we want to see you back here in business. We do not want to lose you guys. So that means a lot. It might be that one person's order, but that means a lot to us. So
yeah, tell us a little bit about the cuisine you have, and because I think that one of the things that Rhode Island is very, very proud of is all the different nationalities that we have represented in our state, and part of that is in our food. We're very proud of our food. So tell us a little bit about your cuisine and what somebody should expect to have when they come to your shop. I know it's not just a mango, like a mango smoothie, which I enjoyed very much.
Thank you. No, I absolutely agree, and I feel proud that I'm part of the Rhode Island hospitality and culinary scene in the last so many years that I have seen. I have heard and I've seen ratings by Travel and Leisure magazine a few years back, when Rhode Island was rated in several categories as number 1, putting big cities behind. So yes, absolutely. That goes without saying. Secondly, our restaurant group is Indian cuisine. We specialize in Indian cuisine. The owner himself is a chef. He's a chef owner. He started 30 plus years back with his first restaurant called Kebab and Curry, and it's growing. We are at 4 locations now, spread out in different locations. And this location per se in East Greenwich, we are modern Indian cuisine with a full bar. Our cocktails do very well because we infuse most of our spirits in-house. We use a lot of herbs and spices in our cocktails. As far as the cuisine is concerned, our cuisine is, our chef, who's the owner, he represents the entire geography or larger regions of India. It's not constrained to only one particular region. So the food or the menu reflects regions of different parts of India, which is what is a great mix, I would say. I would just want to mention one myth usually people have with Indian cuisine or when they talk about curries is they feel it's very spicy, which is not the case. Our menu, you should come, visit, try. There are so many items there are so many preparations which are mild by default, which people would really enjoy. Most of our food is flavorfully spiced. It's not just the heat or the chilies that we use, which we very use at the least. So it's a modern Indian restaurant. We have several different options for a guest. We have curries, we have kebabs, which are grilled items, which do very well. Some of our signature preparation being the tandoori lamb chops, tandoori chicken, which are grilled items. People definitely speak about the cauliflower 65, which is an award-winning appetizer. So, I can go on and on with so many other menu items, but I would certainly recommend.
We're going to kind of close it down a little bit here because Steve has a deadline around 7:30. But I do want to just share with you, as I did before, that because of the diversity in Rhode Island, we've started an international economic ambassador program where we're identifying people in Rhode Island that have networks outside of Rhode Island in other countries. We're going to want to sit down and talk to you about participating in that because for instance, I was on the phone with Taiwan today. I was on the phone with Australia a few weeks back, Israel, and all over the world. And I think we're uniquely positioned in the state of Rhode Island to take advantage of all this diversity and to kind of let the world know about this little place called Rhode Island that's, positioned between New York and Boston, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place to visit and, able to, share in hospitality like you provide. So thank you so much for being here. We'll be down to one of those Sunday evenings. Steve's going to make sure that street's nice and warm, and your hospitality clearly is the warmth that everybody's going to enjoy. Steve, I know you're kind of up against it, but give us a little, parting words. By the way, I look at your Larry Bird picture in the background, and I know that the Celtics are on tonight, and I am a basketball fan, so you just reminded me that I got to tune in and watch that game and
I'll
cheer our local team on.
Signed on LaFontaine, and that's a signed original, and that the statues at the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield. But I would thank Santosh for all that he and Jeev do for East Greenwich and Main Street, and what a great example of the hospitality that we have in the state of Rhode Island. And Santosh, thank you for all your kind words. But I was just thinking that every September, right about this time, we do East Greenwich Restaurant Week, and it's a 10 restaurant week. We have 45 chamber restaurants participating, Rasa being one of them. We're not doing it this year, but I will tell you, we're going to do it as soon as we can in 2021. You can bet on that.
Certainly.
Well, after your presentation tonight and Santosh's presentation tonight, you're going to flood to help all those small businesses out, Steve.
Well, like I said, a rising tide lifts all boats. It's not just the restaurants, but it's all the ancillary businesses and employees that earn a living from what we're doing here in the state. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, well, thanks, Steve, and I appreciate it. We'll be down to make sure that we visit the people there from the theater and making sure that we highlight East Greenwich as one of our 39 East towns in the state of Rhode Island, and we're very proud of the work you're doing. And Santosh, thank you for being here tonight as well. We'll be down and enjoy some of your kebabs.
I look forward. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Coach, Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, guys. Yeah, so I mean, that's just a small sampling of what we're doing in our office right now. We're visiting all 39 cities and towns. We were in Burrillville yesterday with the town manager, Mike Wood, and visiting multiple restaurants. Did you know that there's a microbrewery in Burrillville, and it's a fantastic place. I met Chris and the owners there. We need to make sure we're supporting these small businesses. They're very important to our community, and we visited a deli in Burrillville as well. So we're going to be all around the state. I think that we were in Smithfield last week, and we're going to be in East Providence very shortly. So if you live in a community that you'd like us to tour some small businesses with your municipal leaders, let us know. We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can. Call our office, 222-2371. Email us on the issues in terms of our Take It Outside tour. But also you can email us with any question that you have relative to what's going on in our lives in Rhode Island, whether it's unemployment, whether it's the Department of Business Regulation or Commerce, small business issues, the health department. We're going to be having programs very shortly on work that we're doing on Alzheimer's in our office. We're going to be announcing very shortly a revised strategy on our Operation Holiday Cheer, where our office partners with the National Guard and others and the Red Cross to provide a care package to all our deployed men and women who are in service. This year, we're fortunate that there's not a lot of deployment, if any. So we're going to actually be making this announcement that we're going to be using it for a relief fund for families when they are deployed. The families are still serving and they're here and they need help. So there's call our office if you want to, get involved in that, and we'll be raising some good amount of dollars to help with that relief fund to help the families that are here while their husband and wives serve to protect our freedom. We're going to be supporting that relief fund so that we can help support those families with rent and electric bills and other things that they're going to have, and because the income in many cases decreases when a service man or woman is deployed and they have to leave their full-time employment, and the offset for the pay that they receive for their service is not always dollar for dollar. So we want to help them. So we're going to use this community conversation to highlight the things that we're doing in our office, but we also want to highlight the things that you're working on and to promote the things that are helping your community that you feel as though are worthwhile for a community conversation. Let us know. We'd be happy to have you on. So we're gonna sign off right now, but what we're doing is we're reinforcing the idea of the census, and that we're in a census for 2020. Getting a true count of every person who lives in the state of Rhode Island, everybody that lives in every community, including East Greenwich. We want to make sure that we get a valid count. This has a lot to do with us making sure that we're benefiting from federal road dollars, school dollars, health issues, health dollars. The resources that the federal governments provide to the states is they rely on the census. And we have only a few days left. And September 30th right now is the last day of the census. So if you haven't filled it out, fill it out. We need to do that. So I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Final word on the health, especially our visiting college students from other parts of the country or other parts of the world. Welcome. We love having you here. Just want to make sure that you catch the idea that we need to make sure that we're staying safe and we're doing the work that we need to do to make sure that the state of Rhode Island is safe and healthy so that the economy can bounce back and our students can get the education that they really need, for their future. So, Dave, run the 30 second. We'll kind of end the program with that 30 second, just as a reminder on the census, until we kind of talk again at our small business town hall on Tuesdays at noon, or our community conversation here on Wednesdays at 7:00. Thank you all for tuning in. Please reach out to us if there's anything you believe that we can help with. Our office will make sure that we steer you in the right direction. If we're not able to answer the questions directly, we'll make sure you get the information. Again, Dan McKee, Community Conversation. Let's do the census.
Beginning in March, the U.S. Census Bureau will invite households across the country to participate in the 2020 census. But what is the census? Simply put, the census is a head count of every person living in the United States. To be sure the government represents the people, the U.S. Constitution requires a population count every 10 years. Ever since 1790, the census has determined the number of seats each state receives in the U.S. House of Representatives. It is, and always has been, a cornerstone of our democracy. We still use it to determine representation, but leaders also use the data to make decisions. Your response helps guide planning for the future of our communities. The 2020 census will help inform decisions on how billions of dollars are allocated annually for critical public services like roads, schools, hospitals and healthcare clinics, fire and emergency response services, and hundreds of other programs. In 2020, for the first time, you'll be able to complete the census online, by phone, or by mail. It asks a few simple questions, like how many people live in your home on April 1st, including their age and sex, and if there are any children living there. You should know that by law, all census responses are completely confidential, and your personal information cannot be shared with any law enforcement agencies. Every person counts, no matter who you are or where you live. So whether your family has participated for decades or the 2020 census will be your first, we all have a role in shaping the future of our country.